divergence is another measurement of vector fields that we quite often talk about, curl and divergence. What divergence tells us about a vector field can probably better explain or best explain in the context of fluid dynamics. So think of F as being a vector field, and specifically a velocity field of fluid or some type of gas. Then we know that the curl of F is a vector, and the magnitude of that vector tells us about the tendency to rotate around a specific point. So the divergence actually would then represent, or does represent, the net rate of change with respect to time of the mass of a fluid or gas that's flowing from the point that we're interested in, the specific point, per unit volume. So it's a measurement of the tendency of the fluid to move away from a specific point. So it's really like a measurement of flow. Now, if F is a vector field and represented as pi plus qj plus rk, if this is a vector field in 3 space and these individual partials all exist, then the divergence is divergence of F is then defined by typically just type divf, and very commonly put it like a function notation. It's the partial of p with respect to x plus the partial of q with respect to y plus the partial of r with respect to z. Now, unlike curl, divergence is not a vector field. Curl is a vector field, or actually curl is a vector, and then of course it, for all points it creates a vector field. Divergence is actually a scalar field. Now, just quickly as a reminder, the difference between the idea of a vector field and a scalar field. A vector field assigns to every point, in this case we're talking about in 3 space, a vector. And of course a vector has both magnitude and direction. Whereas a scalar field assigns to every point a scalar. In other words, simply magnitude without direction. Now notice here that the divergence is actually the sum of the partials. So symbolically, I can write divergence of F as actually being equal to this del operator dot F. Recall curl of F, we represented as being this del operator cross F. So this notation actually tells you how to calculate the divergence of a vector field.